...2001... a Buick LeSabre Custom. And yeah, 18,000 mile example. Your typical, well, almost your typical grandma or grandpa mobile, having almost no miles on it, seeing very little but very consistent use. The reason why I say it's almost typical is because if you've ever been around any of these cars, a lot of times grandma and grandpa, they like to bump into things. They like to ding up the corners of the bumpers and scratch stuff up. This one is not like that. It's pretty much perfect. So let's go over it real quick. We'll take a couple of notes at some of the very few flaws. We'll just take a quick, we'll have a quick tour. Very, very clean. Everything works, including that door chime, which is annoying. So let's sit down and get in it so we don't have to hear it. Oh, sorry, the door. When is a door? Not a door. When it is ajar. With just over 18,000 miles.
Like me, sold it.
AC very much works. Nice and cool and cold. Heater works. Windows. Auto up and auto down. Or maybe not auto up. They just have auto down. But they automatically whir themselves down. Locks work. Back windows. They both work. Wipers wipe. I mean, even inside the little ashtray is immaculate. Usually there's at least some grossness in there. Nothing. Got the manuals. Have this thing of beauty. The original window sticker. Oh yes, this does have the Grand Touring package, among other things. And originally came right over here, not too far from here, Manteca. Hour plus drive away. So it's lived in dry country its whole life. Every possible version of sunshade here works. You know about these Buicks, you know they're all generally pretty reliable anyways. So having stuff be working is not, at, you know, this low of mileage is to be expected. Poke around the hood. But it's still nice to go through and check all this stuff. There's that lazy boy-esque back seat. Headliner's super clean. Really the only imperfection I found on this car is there's one small soft dent right here. Maybe you can see it. Just one little, nope, doesn't look like there's any real paint damage there. Just a little soft dent, maybe something fell on it. You kind of never see it unless you're looking for it, but it's there. Cargo net still here. Floors and everything. Sloppy factory seam sealer application. All of that There is a little nick here in here on the bumper, just from loading stuff in and out. Again, I'm being extraordinarily picky here, but when you've got an almost perfect car, you kind of have to be. Tires are good. A lot of life left on those tires. They're practically new. Let's see if we can find a date code here. Here we go. Second to last week of 2010 is when these were built. So call it 2011. So they are 10 years old, but they don't look rotted. They're not worn. You know, they probably have only seen, you know, a couple thousand miles. I think grandma and or grandpa was not doing a whole lot of driving the end of their ownership of this car. And it definitely looks like it was kept in a garage. So I would be comfortable running those tires. I know 10-year-old tires is borderline at best. They're good looking tires as far as I'm concerned. I would drive them. Let's look under the hood. The venerable GM 3800. I think you'd probably be hard pressed to find a more reliable GM motor ever produced. And it is tight as a button. That's pretty much it. Really not a whole lot to go over on this thing, just because it's so damned clean. So let's go take a quick leisurely Buick-esque drive. And yeah, let's go float on. Hello, good morning. We are going to go for a leisurely cruise in the 2001 Buick LeSabre, the LeSabre Custom, with a whole 18,318 miles and counting. We're just going to take it for a quick drive. This is not a car you hustle. This is a car you kind of saunter in. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go down this road here for a little bit in what is effectively a brand spanking new 20-year-old Buick. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the driving experience. Novocaine might be the best way to put it. I mean, it's comfortable, it's fairly insulated, it's quiet. The only thing I noticed driving this particular car is while everything on it is effectively perfect, There is a little bit of brake rotor warpage, so you get some chatter coming down from speed, you know, if you're exiting the freeway or whatnot. Otherwise, every single thing works on this car, as one would expect for a car with 18,000 miles on it. Yeah, I mean, that's really it. There's not a whole lot else to go over about driving this car. Being stuck behind a truck that's spraying these weeds with God knows what is probably a good time to just end it. So go ahead, check this thing out. It is live right now. If you're catching this in the first week this video went live, which is probably why you should follow along. And yeah, I mean, it pretty much is, yeah, it's there. It's a good car. It's pretty quiet, pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and it's a pretty good deal for what's effectively a brand new 20-year-old car. So bid often, bid early over on carsandbids.com. And yeah, thanks for watching me hang out with a Buick. Deuces.